So this is how I grew wide shoulders fast. A lot of people made it complicated, but it's not really. It's really easy. And you can see right in the left, you will see me as having a narrow frame with pretty narrow shoulders, and then you will see me in the right with pretty broad shoulders. I uh, haven't made anything special. I just tried to progressive overload, and that's the magic that all people make. But in reality, it's very very easy. So let's get right into it. We need one of each of those exercises. We need one front delt exercise. Sorry, my alarm. One lateral delt exercise and one rear delt exercise. Those will be for all the heads of the delt. You have the front delt, you have the lateral delt here, and the rear delt here. Okay, let's go. So for the lateral delts, let me move myself. Okay, so you see that the lateral delt is the most important for the V-taper, for the width, because the lateral delt is the one that you see from the front and from the back, is because it's on the lateral side. And if this one is bigger, then you will have a more broader look. You have a more width look. It gets involved a lot in pressing also, but you can it gets involved a lot in overhead pressings, but you can also do some lateral work for it. Uh, but for some people, you can just stick to overhead press, and that's gonna grow your lateral pretty much. You don't need to spam those because you don't need to spam any muscle. You just need to pick one exercise that you like and progressive overload it. Like, let's say you like this one with a cable. Okay, let's do 2 sets and progressive overload them over time, and move the weight up and move the reps up, and that's what progressive overload is. You just need to pick a movement and progressive overload it. Or you can try the dumbbell. Also the same thing. You just need to progressive overload it with reps and weight. You just need to add more weight or reps. Also, you can do this with the lateral machine. You also need to progressive overload and move the weight up and move the reps up. That's how it works. You need to pick an exercise and for it and progressive overload it. This stuff is pretty simple. You don't need to complicate it. Okay, let's see rear delts. Now, the rear delts get involved a lot in row exercises. You don't need to mm, really get an exercise for it. You can just get pretty strong at rows. But if you have it very underdeveloped, you can just pick one exercise and progressive overload it. It's pretty simple, guys. So it gets involved a lot also in pole pulling exercises for the back. A lot of people skip it, and that's why they don't have a 3D delt. Yeah, a lot of people have the front delt very developed and the lateral delt because they do a lot of overhead press, but they forget that they have the third head, the rear delt, which is pretty underdeveloped. So for a lot of people, so they just tend to skip it because a lot of people put it in the back of the workout. I suggest you should put it uh, in the first set of the workout to make sure that you hit it, because a lot of people just skip it at the end of the workout because they think that is not that important, but it is almost the most important piece for the physique. You don't need to spam this also. You don't need to spam delts. A lot of people think that shoulders can support more volume and you should spam a lot of tests and do a lot of work for them to grow, but it is not the case. You just need to progressive overload this and get strong as fuck on one of those movements. Also, you need two sets and one exercise for each part. Okay, let's see the front delts. The front delts it gets you a lot in the front delts are also involved in a lot of pressing. When you work chest, you also work a lot of front delts. But for some people, I'll see that it's very underdeveloped, and you should also work it separately. Mm, but I think you are good with an overhead press. You don't need to do front raises or to do cable front raises. I think a lot of people will be good with overhead press, because the overhead press will hit very very good the front delts and the lateral delts, and there's no worry to even do the front raises, because I don't see the point of it. That's pretty much all. You just need to progressive overload them and pick one exercise of each one, do two sets, progressive overload them over week, and yeah, that's I think pretty much. Yeah, yeah. Now you have big delts. Congrats. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.